How you going, guys? I'm Matt Lauder, a full-time landscape aerial and surf photographer here in Australia. A customer put a $13,000 framed photo order through my website. I'm going to show you how I do the file setups, print the images, and then package them, getting them ready to be sent off to the framer. Okay, so there I was, working away on Photoshop, editing some prints, and a customer's notification come up on my website through the live chat feature that I have, and they're asking me questions about photos, sizes, framing types, and then they put this bulk order through with just over $13,000. So what they're after these large prints. 4 were 203 by 67 centimeter, and the other 2 were just 1 meter by 33 centimeters. They wanted our special premium box framing, where you have your photo mounted onto aluminium, you then have a spacer, then you have the acrylic goes in, and then you've got your frame. So it's a really beautifully presented photo, and basically the image is 100% photo. There's no frame matting or anything like that. You basically are totally and signing actually on the printed image, and it's all that. It's absolutely beautiful way to frame your work. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump into Photoshop. I'm going to show you how I set up the print files. We're then going to go through and print them on the Canon here, print them all out, show you how I package them all up, ready to be sent off to the framer. It's quite a good process, so I hope you get a lot out of it. Okay, so here we are in Adobe Bridge, and this is my master files for my Melbourne shots. Customers ordered this photo here as well. So instead of doing this individually 4 times, I'm going to create an action so I can run it over the shots. So I'm going to open up the other ones that they've ordered as well. Ordered Melbourne 23. I've ordered Melbourne 04 and Melbourne 41. So they've ordered these all in the 203 centimeter wide photo. Let's have a look at this one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, exit out of button mode, and do a new action. I'm going to call this one 203 by 67 premium on 36 inch. So I know it's on a setup for 36 inch paper. I'm going to set it to my premium 3 to 1 inch set. Assign the color of orange, and we're going to click record. Come in, Option Command I for the image size, resolution 300 dpi, 203. Because I know all my panoramics are fixed at 3 to 1 ratio, I know that when I type in the width, it just sets the height. Click OK. Okay, now that it's come up, Z for my zoom tool. I'm going to zoom out. Now I'm going to sharpen the image, filter, sharpen, unsharp mask. Set the percentage to 50, and I pick a area with good detail. So what I do is when I set up for print, I go through and I have a look. I increase my amount quite high, keep the radius quite low. And what I look for is I slightly over sharpen the print. Because I'm looking on a super high gloss screen, when it transitions from screen to print, your photo will slightly de-sharpen. So I just slightly over sharpen it. That'll do. Amount 105, radius 1.4, click OK. It's applied. Now I come in, Option Command C for my canvas. And I'm going to add a 10 centimeter photo border all the way around this. It's just going to be paper, so add 20. And we'll add 20 all the way around because the anchor point's in the center. Click OK. Just zoom out. I'm going to grab my marquee tool, so M on my keyboard, click in the corner and drag it all the way around. I'm going to come in, Edit, Stroke. I'll do a 3 pixel stroke at usually a dark color, so that gray. Click OK. The reason I put this on is so the framer knows where the photo actually starts. When I print the paper out and I send it to them, they know that to trim it accordingly and make a frame for this sort of size. So what I do now is I'm going to come in, Option Command C again, and I'm going to set my printing size canvas, which is going to be 88 inch by 36 because that's our paper width. Click OK. As I do these things, you can see them all load into the actions here. So this photo won't print in this orientation, it's going to print vertically, so rotate 90 degrees clockwise. I'm going to come in, File, Save As, and I save it to a folder that I've got on my desktop with my order number. Desktop, there's my order there. Don't play with your file name, come down, save, okay, and it's saved. I'm going to come in, File, Close. So it's just still saving in the background. Okay, so it's done, so I'm going to stop the action. I can go back into button mode if I like. I come in and I'll just double check my folder. So it's saved our image right there. So if I double click, and I can reopen that up in Photoshop, and we can just see that it's applied all those things and it's saved it exactly how we like. There it is there. So just going to close that. Now I'm going to come in, File, Automate, Batch. I'm going to pick my Premium 3 set, come in, pick our action there, source is Open Files, click OK, and it's going to run this action over the other 3 open images, and this process just saves you a lot of time. Okay, so it's all done. So this customer's also ordered 2 photos in the 100 by 33 image size. So what I'd do is I'd go through and I'd repeat that exact process again, create the action for that size. So if later on when more customers order images exactly like this, I have a go-to action for it. So now we're going to drop these files into another hard drive, and we're going to jump onto my other Mac that runs my printer. Okay, so here we are in Adobe Bridge, got my folder open with our orders. File, Export, IPF 8400 print plugin. So media type, that's what my color target paper type was made on. Print mode, highest passes, output profile, that's the color target. Custom, that was made off my printer on that paper. Matching type, relative color metric. Page setup, I'm going to come in and select our paper size that we created. 36-inch wide paper, 88 inches long, and click print. Okay, so there's our nice big beautiful 203 centimeter wide photo. Beautiful detail all the way through. So the next thing to do would be to sign it on the right and title it on the left. Always title your work on the left, because when you come in, so this is South Bank in Melbourne. So I'll write South Bank, comma Melbourne, and your signature, you always know your signature is always the same size. So on the right hand side here, when you sign, you don't actually bleed over on the right hand side of where the image ends, because that'll be really unattractive. So if you had South Bank Melbourne and you're going to write it over here, you might write South Bank, and as you start to write Melbourne, you realize you don't have enough room, and then you start to block up the writing and it's going to look awful. Next thing to do now would be to write on here my order information, and then I'll lay over some acid-free white tissue paper, ready for the next print to go on top, and then just repeat the process. Okay, so all our 4 photos have been printed. They've been titled, signed. I've written information on there to the framer in regards to the order number and things like that. The other 2 smaller jobs that go with this, I'm not going to pack with these ones. I don't like packing a large amount of photos all together. It just makes it too hard to roll, and I don't want to damage the prints by just putting heaps of prints in with one job when you ship them. When I do roll them, I use a cardboard tube. This is just an leftover from printing, but you could grab your own tube from the post office or something like that. It's really handy to help you roll the curvature of the photo, especially if you've got a really wide photo, because the last thing you want is to bend it and then actually crimp it, because as soon as you put a crimp in your photo there, it's ruined. You're going to have to reprint, and even whether you're using a lab or even printing for yourself, it still has a high cost. Once they've been rolled, I use basically leftover photo paper and I print my logo on there. And it's always good to use any available space that you got on your printer paper to either print shipping labels like I do, or anything like that that you will be handy for your own business. Because of the width of the photo, I'm going to use something this wide. Usually I'll just cut out the strip there and just use a single strip for a smaller photo. And then in the packaging, I'll include the customer's order with just basically, it's got all their shipping information. It's got all the referencing numbers and stuff like that on there for the framer, so they know exactly what frame type that the customer's ordered. They've all ordered exactly the same frame, which makes it nice and easy. So yeah, let's get rolling these prints and then we'll pack them. Okay, so the first thing I do is I just, with the tissue paper, it extends past the photo. So I just come in, tuck under it. So the edge is nice and smooth. I get my roll, put it here, lift the prints up, extend your hands out, just make sure it's all smooth. You just come down, roll over, and you can just sort of tuck it in a little bit, and then gently remove the roll. When you do this, just make sure your roll doesn't have any jagged edges or anything like that. You don't want to have any problem with marking the print. Okay, so that's out. Tighten it in slightly. And then as you roll, you're just basically making sure that you're just keeping it nice and straight. If your print starts to go off a little bit, you can just sort of squeeze in and just twist it a little bit like that, just to get it realigned again. So as you can see, it's a pretty decent size as it is. This is the reason why we don't roll heaps of prints. So let's come to the end. Come through, just make sure you put pressure on the seam there where the photos come together. Come around. Grab your tape. Lay it down, and I'll just fold over the end here, just so it's easy for them just to pick it up. And that's them rolled. Okay, so now that you got your photos rolled, now comes the packing them. On the edges here, you can see how they fold out a bit because we've got the wrap here. So what I do is I get another 2 pieces of tissue paper. I come down and I roll and put a bit of pressure down just to hold down that edge. Get it all aligned. I have the tissue paper about the width of the prints. I just lift it up, come through, and roll it down. Bring it back, tape it, And the final piece, what I do is I just include my order into some bubble wrap. I have the bubble wrap longer than the prints, so when I put it into its packaging box, it's going to protect the ends. Get your box, and this is just a leftover box from a 44-inch roll of canvas. Just get your print. So it fits in perfectly, perfect fit. Then we got some fragile tape. Alright guys, so that's my whole workflow from getting my customer's order, running it through Photoshop, printing it out, and then finally packaging it. The attention to detail that I put in printing my work and packaging it, you should also be doing for yourself, because at the end of the day, our customers spent money buying our work. So if you like the videos like this, where I help you shoot, edit, and sell like a pro, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell. Links are in the description with the courses that I offer, and I'll see you next time.